So the writer's strike has been going on for a while now. And I think no matter what happens, the companies are still going to lose. At the end of the day, the writers are only being paid a 60K salary, and that's not enough for them. Now, I think this is a big reason why, too. We've seen a lot of movies that have been very bad. Because if you're getting paid 60K a year, and whether or not the movie's good or bad doesn't affect you getting paid more, why would you put in effort to make a good movie? Why? There's no reason to. I think what this caused is writers mailing it in. They're not really trying because why would they try? And let's say tomorrow they say, the writers give up and say, know what, we give in. We'll work just the way we used to at the same price. What makes you think they're not going to work harder and they're not going to be resentful working? If the writers were just to concede right now, I don't think they would try at all to make a quality product, because why? And especially with the rise of AI, I don't really think writing, at least for movies, is really going to be a career anymore. From the direction it seems like it's going, the people who are going to be making money from it are people who are programming the AI for movie studios. That's where it seems like the money is. So if you're really good with AI and have a job in the industry, I think you'll be making good money for a long time. But this matters too because how many people growing up are going to want to be writers, especially after they see the way the writers are being paid right now? And unless the writers actually get paid more, there's going to be less people who want to be writers, at least for movie studios. You're probably better off being a writer for writing a book. But at the end of the day, the way things are going, it doesn't seem like writing is a valuable skill to have anymore. At least not valuable enough to make money off of. There's still value in your day-to-day life to being able to be good at writing, but in terms of making money, it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. I think this also matters for AI too, because the way AI is working right now is you feed it information and it uses that to learn. Now, ideally, in an ideal world, you would have AI that would work functionally the same as a human, where it would be as good at writing as a human. But if we think about what makes a person good at writing, it's practice. So I think the only way we would ever see AI get to a point where it's good at writing is if you had someone giving good feedback to the AI, saying what's good and bad about their writing. But the only one who would know that are people who are good at writing. And if you don't pay them a lot of money to do it, why would they tell you? So I think already the idea of stealing writers' work and feeding it to the AI is fundamentally flawed because it's still not understanding what's good and bad about the writing. And we know for sure that the CEOs don't know a good script compared to a bad script. Of course they don't. They're all they know is understand is money. And the direction I see everything going, it seems like movies are not going to get better for a long time. And the only movies that probably will be good are from studios that we've never heard of. Studios that actually pay writers something they're actually worth to make them want to write something good. But although I think, at least for now, for a considerable amount of time, AI won't really be successful in writing scripts for movies, I think it's a completely different case for actors. It's a whole nother thing to think about. As the direction we're getting at, very soon we'll get to a point where you won't be able to tell whether the actor on screen is the actual actor or a deepfake. And now, what do I think this is going to happen? I think what's going to happen is at first, movie studios will use popular actors, both ones that have retired and ones that are working now and trying to replace them. Now, will this actually work? To be honest, I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But there's one thing I know for sure will most likely happen, which is, how are you going to create celebrities that people will care about? Because a lot of what adds to celebrity too is their actual personality. And with the way AI is going, I don't really see how they create a new personality that people are attached to, especially if people already know or people are going to assume that it's a fake person. Because I think part of the appeal of celebrities too is seeing them at like events. So even though no one watches like whatever awards, what the Oscars or whatever, no one actually watches it. The fact that they're there and we hear about it adds to the celebrity. Now, if you just were to create a celebrity out of thin air, that'd be very difficult to do. Now, let's say you try and base it off a person, and you have them go to the events, but they're not actually acting. Maybe that could work, but to be honest, I don't really know. But the thing I do know for sure is that when it comes to writing, it's going to be a very rocky road, and I think there are going to be a considerably higher amount of bad writing in movies and TV in the future. Now, that being said, I do know there are some TV shows that exist that is written by the actual creators of the show. And I know for sure the one I can think of off the top of my head is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The actors of Charlie, Mac, and Dennis are the writers of the show. So not only the acting, but their writing. And I think if that's how you were to do it, I think you would actually see success. Just because actors, at least right now, are being paid much more than writers. So it seems like the best way to be successful if you do want a career in writing. But the biggest problem is that the studios don't see the bigger picture. They only see the present. They're not thinking ahead. And to really think that if the writers were to actually give in and say, no, we'll be paid the same as before, we give up. If you actually think they're going to actually write good movies, you have to be stupid. And the fact that the CEOs of these studios haven't even thought about that kind of shows why we've seen a lot of bad movies. And also why we haven't seen anything new. Because why make something new if you're not going to be paid for it in the first place? Now, the last thing I'll say is the only way I think we'll see good writing from these studios, which is the way the studios have been dealing with the writer's strike, which is paying people peanuts in third world countries that are actually writing good products. And this has actually been happening a lot, I've heard, in South Korea. Because of the strike, I've heard a lot of studios have been going to South Korea and basically paying nothing just so they could get something written. So if we do see something good, it would be something written probably by a third world country like... Well, Korea isn't a third world country, so it's disingenuous to say. What I am saying is a foreign country that's being paid peanuts because they can get away with it. But those are just my thoughts on the strike. I think no matter what, the smartest decision is to just pay them more, because then they'll actually want to write good movies. And if you enjoyed the video, you could always like it. And have a great rest of your day. See you later.